Spooky music. Spooky music. Let's continue, I guess. I leave Dakota's apartment as soon as the sun goes down. Okay, okay. Yesterday was fun. Need 2 seconds. Yeah. But I always feel a little nervous when I spend too much time with her. She never lets me escape from being the center of attention. It's exhausting. At least the time I spent with her, the happier she is to see me again. It's a tricky act to balance, though. I'm grateful for her presence in my life, but never mind. What's on my list of chores tonight? Ah, yes. One thing. Don't show up for the party at the art hole. Well, this is the rare night when I don't have to do anything. Might as well make a trip around the city, see what's up. Maybe fix myself a little drink while I'm at it. Okay, so pushing this thing is going to just put us in the next day or something. I can pick from these two. Walk in the park, good hunting grounds, or breaking the habit. Live a little. Sure, let's live a little. Cortland Park. Oh, hunting grounds here. Right. Funny, I never knew how much I could miss nature until I got stuck in the urban jungle. Ugh. The sight of familiar green surroundings slowly floods my mind with disjointed images. Back from when I'd just moved to NYC and still in awe of it. Reminisce? No, suppress memory. I shake the feelings off. This is no time for fascinating, fantasizing about the good old days. Most of which were probably never that good to begin with. I came here for a reason. A burning heart reaches my fingers. I flick the butt away and immediately take another cigarette out of the pack before proceeding through the parade ground. The faint sound of shoes tapping against concrete interrupts my contemplative mood. Just what I was hoping for. I hurriedly finish my smoke and take a step back, blending in with the shadows. A lonely jogger runs in and out of the pale lamplight, completely lost in his thoughts, all dressed up in top-shelf sportwear, wiry muscles clearly visible under the skin-tight outfit, and his exposed neck. What, do you want him to run with a scarf or something? I get the urge back under control for now, but when I was alive, I'd rely on the breath in, breath out exercise. However, nowadays, breathing costs a premium. Just as I regain my composure, the jogger stops by the flickering lantern and takes a glance at his smartphone. His body tenses noticeably as he answers a call. Moving in on him right now would be, of course, inevitably involve the caller hearing the assault happen. No reason to make things complicated. I'll take my time. I cautiously get closer and closer until I can finally overhear his words. Should expect the bad news, I know, but Jesus, Tasha. He's 9. He struggles and fails to sound calm. No, she doesn't know yet. I'll tell her when I get home. I need to think this through. I notice a lanyard half stuck into a pocket with a Bronx Times logo stamped on it. They say there's no cure. Yeah, I heard something about experimental treatments in Rochester, but I can't make the decision on my own. I connect the dots, realize what he's talking about, and feel like I was punched straight in the guts. Listen, I need to clear my head. Tell Jonah I need a couple of days off. If he starts throwing a fit again, tell him he'll better learn to write the column on his own. No, seriously. Thanks, Tasha. Yes. I'll give him a kiss from his auntie. The moment he hangs up, his composure goes out the window. He basically stumbles to the nearest bench. God damn it. His faint sobbing stops me in my tracks. I lose my appetite. Feeding on this guy would feel nauseating anyway. Just when I convince myself that I should let basic decency take the reins, he notices me creeping around, gives me a startled glance, eyes damp, looking absolutely miserable. Oh, so what do you say to a guy you were just about to assault in a dark park, but fought better at it? It's going to be fine. Are you a journalist? I'm lost. Can you help? It's going to be fine. Just wanted to say it's going to be all right. He looks at me. His gaze is kind but tired and empty. Look, I appreciate your intentions, but do you really believe that? I weigh my words. No, I don't. Then why would you say that? Who do you think you are? You have no fucking idea what I'm going through. He gets more and more aggravated with every word. Cut him off. How can you be so sure? Ooh, my eyes started glowing. That snaps him back into focus. You're right, I can't know exactly what you're feeling. I'm no mind reader. But it's clear that we have something in common. We both got fucked over with no say in the matter. He turns away and stays silent. Glad he didn't ask about how I got fucked over. Not exactly the same caliber of suffering. What, death? Death isn't the same caliber? It's going to get fine. Yeah, I got tired of hearing it too. It never gets fine. Unless you work your ass off. And even then, things get bearable, maybe, if you're lucky. Your son has multiple sclerosis, yeah? He doesn't deserve it, but that's reality being its usual fucked up self. Imagine how afraid he must be. Your fear is infinitely more beatable. So you need to pull yourself together, lend him by example, lead him by example. The guy peers at me with unease, but I notice a tiny streak of confidence kindling in his eye. Unless you're some part of a miracle, there's nothing I can do to help my boy. You still have time to be together. Make it the best in his life. Giving people advice I myself wouldn't be able to listen to. Hell yeah, classic me. Well, guessing what people want or need to hear was a essential skill back at the Lodestar. Anyway, that's all from me. You're right, I overstepped my boundaries. But I wish you both the best of luck sincerely. Have a good night. I notice a change in his melancholic face. He stands up, with his back straight, like he has regained some of his lost resolve. He nods and starts running straight back to his problems. Start walking in the opposite direction. Even though I might regret this show of abstinence later, what little remains of my humanity inside my shriveled heart encourages me to think that letting this guy go was the right thing to do. I need a change of scenery to break out of this mood, and an opportunity to actually get some juice into my veins, relatively guilt-free, if possible. Guess that's enough interaction, human interaction, for one night. Once more to the Big Beat Burger. into the last fast food joint I'll ever know. I'll have the usual. The first time I used this line, I wasn't sure it would work. But I've gained enough notoriety among the staff that it does. The cashier just smiles, nods, and charges me for one black coffee. I can imagine them instructing the newbies. See that emo weirdo? Here how it is. She always orders a single cup of black coffee. Nothing else. And she doesn't even drink it. Probably wouldn't take a single sip even if I was still alive. This stuff is just trash. But at least being a buying customer gives me an excuse to sit here for as long as I want to. I wish I could use one of those self-ordering kiosks to minimize human contact, but touchscreens don't exactly like me. Not too long ago, I managed to blue screen 10 of them in a row. Why? Oh well. The good news is it doesn't look like I have anything to do tonight. The bad news is it's because every kindred who matters is having fun at the art hole. It's not like I wanted to go. I just wanted them to invite me so that I could tell them to fuck off. I scan the entrance to the restaurants through my peripheral vision. I am naively hoping someone will come and save me from misery. Yes, I am. Please, please, let someone come and get me out of here. A prince, a princess, a knight in shining armor, a fairy godmother, a passing huntsman, big bad wolf, Mia Jovovich, Vin Diesel. Somebody. Hell, I'll take anyone at this point. Visualizing tapping into the power of my subconscious. Materializing my dreams. Nope, doesn't work. Looks like you're eternally stuck being a nobody in the corner of a shitty restaurant. Sweet little Julia. And life's a bitch, and then you don't even die. I pretend to read a book about psychoanalysis I stole from Dakota for a while. Having found it too mentally taxing, I switched to pretending to read Stephen King's book, which I also stole from Dakota. After the terrifying realization that I was written in the last 15 years and therefore contains no amusing drugged-out rants about troubled childhood in Maine, I switched back to looking at the entrance. Ah, it's a new Stephen King book. That party must be so stuffy and trashy and boring. At this point, I'm no longer looking for salvation. I'm asking for amusement. But it doesn't come. All I get is boring bozos in normcore clothes. They walk in, take care of their businesses, without doing anything to amuse me, and walk out. A few seconds after I lose all hope, a tall, elegant man marches in with a spring in his step. He looks around, impatient, irritated. Then he notices the person he was looking for and reacts with visible relief. He gallantly approaches my table, looks at me and says, "There you are. Ah, Mr. Kadir. Now that's curious. You shouldn't be here." Big bad wolf, Vin Diesel. Fairy godmother. What's up? Are you here to be my fairy godmother? Will you give me a wonderful dress and drive me to the party? Oh, but it's past midnight already. My dumb attempt at self-amusement doesn't faze him at all. Doesn't even roll his eyes. He just stares at me blankly. Grab your stuff and get in my car. Now. His tone leaves no room for doubts. Something has happened. And to ask what, but whatever he's in his, I will simply ignore all the dumb shit you say mode. I know better than to ask a question. Instead, I silently follow him to the exit. Guides me to his car. I just hope I haven't messed up again. I don't think I have. But have I? Career's car. As usual, he gave me the back seat. He's always uneasy when passenger seat is taken. He doesn't want anyone to limit his peripheral vision, he says. Normally, I catch him observing me in the rear view mirror, but this time he's watching the street. More tense than usual. Something must have caught him off guard. Got my seatbelt on and my popcorn ready. What's up? The awkward silence feels like it would last forever. Eventually he finds the right words and speaks up. 6 weeks ago the prince told me to parley with the anarchs in the docks, remember? Yeah, and you made me tag along so that I could learn something about politics. As it turned out, politics meant something awfully familiar to watching my drunken family shout at each other at a wedding party. There was this man who didn't need to shout to make my blood boil. The meanest one in the room, their leader. White hair, a monocle, musky clothes. Monocle? Jesus. Okay, there, monocle. Boss Callahan. With his fucking Polak cunt. Ooh, 2 curses in 1 line. How exciting. Scrooge McDuck. Yeah, how could I forget? A lot of panache, old-timey bravado, and gendered insults flung my way. That was his name, something British, made me think of Hollywood. Callahan. Baron Callahan. Douglas Boss Callahan. Right, in 2020. But the man's opinions and ideas were stuck in the 1920s. Weren't the anarchists supposed to be the progressive opinion? I've never understood why they put up with him. He has his ways of predicting which way the wind will blow. Anytime Camarilla or CI hit the anarchs, it was the factions opposed to him that were hurt. The luckiest bastard in the world. Thought you didn't believe in luck. I don't. But it sure looks like his luck has finally run out tonight. Huh? Wait, don't tell me. He's dead. We're going to kill him. He's dead. The anarchs got rid of him. Yeah, let's go with he's dead. He's dead? Deader than dead? I'm 99% sure the bastard meant his final death. How do you know? We've got trustworthy sources in the anarchs' inner circles. Looks like all hell is about to break loose. There is another emergency meeting at the art hole. Jesus, are you bringing me with you? Why? Because you were on the way. Because I could. Because I should. You might not be important to the members of the court, but you are still an asset to the sect. Symbolically, at least. I can justify sneaking you in the party claiming it's for your own protection. My sweet fairy godmother in a luxury carriage. Wait a minute though, the party is still happening. I called the prince, told her the best course of action is stopping it, and started listing security protocols I have prepared for these sort of situations. She interrupted me halfway through and told me we will discuss the subject face to face. How exciting. Doesn't sound like she was interested. The party is all that is important, huh? Politics is what is important. I don't know if she's trying to convince me or herself. And once again, watch the road, man. You've not been watching the road this whole time. Come on, watch the road. And once again, politics sound an awful like a bunch of party-loving assholes shouting at each other. Don't worry. This isn't the kind of, how shall I call it, governing issue that likes of you and it tends to deal with. And how would you describe the government issue we tend to deal with? Shoveling ourselves out of shit? As usual, he seems a little embarrassed of cursing. Or maybe too honest. Either way, it's cute. No argument here. And that's where the conversation ends. We stay silent as the car rides off towards the unknown. Boss Callahan, I'm not a New York City Baron. The Baron of New York City, if you please. Once more a memory of the old douchebag who thought he could rule the world crosses my mind. Well, it looks like the world has left him behind. Senora, sayonara, asshole, senora. And here I am at the only place I didn't expect to visit tonight, the art hole. Guessing by the sounds, the inside seem lively. Even if they know it's an emergency, they simply don't care. What are you standing around for? You still need an invitation? No idea. Do I? I think the bouncer will let you in. There's the bouncer. Yes. And he's standing in front of you. Just start walking, whelp. And here I am, along party elites. It's as stuffy and boring as I expected, but hey, at least it's exclusive. And the title Panhard came up with these years gathering. It's called Celebration of Power. An invitation to re-examine the relationship between our undead bodies and the spaces they inhabit. Looks like a bit like Francis Bacon paintings. Huh. At least no. Yeah, kind of all of them look a bit like Francis Bacon paintings. The week-long event is packed as a sort of performance art piece meant to make the kindred who are involved celebrate their potential instead of despairing at the monstrous nature. We need a counter-program. The omnipresent images of tragic vampirism with images that reminds us we have inherited the earth. And we are now free to remake it in our image, as our prince puts it. To this end, she organizes a series of exhibits, concerts and fireworks, parties, business meetings, etc., etc. Of course, the parties and business meetings are the most important. My prince, Kadir, finally. A saint with angelic wings, a holy patron of New York City. I take a good look around. Half the figures here are dressed like they're attending a masked ball. The other half are religious figures, either demonic or saintly. I have to admit I don't fully understand the theme here. I know Panhard is based on psychomagic, a sort of shamanistic psychotherapy using the power of art. Simply put, it's a holy mass and unholy mass in equal measures. A set of rituals meant to make the participants wholeheartedly accept they're both the worst and the best this earth has ever to offer. But on this mask, at the very least, you're standing out. Here. I heard the aesthetic basis of these parties is the black mass in the film's Eyes Wide Shut. Something this decision means Panghard is tone deaf, but it's quite contrary. She knows the anarchs are constantly looking for ways to undermine her through art and rhetoric that points out glaring contradictions in her theoretically benevolent rule. But instead of denying and suppressing aesthetics designed to criticize the elites, she embraces them. Instead of risking a Steinhardt effect, she effectively defangs the opposition. The resistance becomes part of the system. Both the Camarilla and the anarchs get the same message. Don't think of it as pathology. Think of it as the new normal. I collect the key advisors. They have already been told to come here. I don't think there's a need for us to hold the meeting in a particular secluded place. We'll just do it over here. Are you certain? Absolutely. Wait. Is that Miss Swomsky I see behind you? Just let Kadir talk. Good evening. Good evening. I collected her on my way here because her role as a Lansobra representative. Keep wanting to say Labrosa. Just say political hostage. You people made it perfectly clear that's what's going to happen with my parents back in Chicago if I go against you. I realized she might become a target and decided to hide her at the heart hole. Putting all my eggs in one basket will make my job easier. I will look for a safe place for her to spend the night. Let her stay with you for now, Al-Asi. Time is of the essence. I didn't notice him sneak up upon us. Nice get up. Are you absolutely sure? But of course. Everything we say here is going to become an open secret in a matter of minutes. Prince Panhard has already come up with the appropriate messaging. Out of the corner of my eye, I spot an elderly vampire guiding a young, fashionable human girl towards the basement, led like a lamb to the slaughter. Best not to think too deeply about what's going to happen underneath this place. Before everyone gets here, I'd like to secure the perimeter. Easy now, Al-Asai, Asmai. All the appropriate security protocols for you are already active. Me and the prince have already pulled some strings as well. The situation is mostly under control. Mostly under control, never let anyone sleep any easier. Ah, Lasmai, I know that as the prince's sword, you are aching for blood, but you have to accept that, like most weapons known to man, they are most effective hidden in the sheath. Listen here now. Looks like a fascinating philosophical discussion in the making, but sadly I am forced to interrupt. Prince Panhard. All of a sudden, Samira appears between the two men, her calm, collected voice completely changing the atmosphere, as expected, for a half-professed protector of peace. Samira, I hope you're enjoying yourself. To be quite honest, I feel out of place. She nods and smiles at me, probably to signal she takes solace in not being the only person in the room who feels like a fish out of water. Especially now, seeing as I heard this meeting is meant for those of greater stature than mine. Nonsense. We have a delicate matter to discuss, one that might require several severe judgment down the road. I think you understand why I wished for a child of Hakim to be involved. Of course. What is with that expression on your face, Kadir? He quickly collects himself. Look who's joining us. The High Regent of the Chancellery of the Five Boroughs, Lady Aisling Sturbridge, walks up our group in an outfit I would have never imagined her in, pretending everything is par for the course. Prince Panhard, the Harpy, the Bamboo Hakim Primogen. Are we still waiting for someone? He's almost here. Shining ever more brightly than usual, Aisling. I adore your outfit, Samira. Wish the prince allowed the same amount of effort from me. I, for one, am glad she didn't. I particularly love those horns. Thank you for reminding me. I put them on at the prince's behest, but I believe she's had more than enough fun. No, not yet. Ah, well, this will do for now. But you are not off the hook yet. I paid a costly price to see you like this. Both Kadir and the prince's voices are strayed whenever they attempt to humor. Their minds are obviously elsewhere, and it's not a happy place. Arturo, on the other hand, seemed calm. We all celebrate our powers in different ways, I suppose. Now, what is this about? Just a moment, over here, Edison. The Camalera's infamous spokesman approaches, pushed towards us in a wheelchair by his servant. Helen, everyone, I certainly hope this is something important. What a commanding tone. Seeing as Payne can't communicate normally, his servant relays his words to us instead. He is posh and snobby enough to make me believe I am listening to his master's voice. Carter won't be joining us. He gave me fair warning he might not make it tonight. I've messaged him the details. I have to find time to meet him later, then finding time, searching for lost time. I swear, it's all I do nowadays. And there's never enough. I guess now you understand why I insisted that this event must last all week. So many esteemed guests, many of them from out of town, each deserving at least a few hours. The figure in the wheelchair waves his hand impatiently. Yes, let's cut to the chase now, shall we? That might be the wisest course of action, my prince. Arturo. My prince, everyone, let me begin by stressing these important points. The situation is largely under control. The negotiations are underway. The situation is more tense than dangerous. We are safe. Let me repeat, we are safe. And with that out of the way, here's the big news. Baron Callahan, the de facto leader of the Anarchs in New York City, met his final death in his office tonight. How did you find out? We have a good friend near his office. Their intel is as accurate as it gets. We also established a negotiation channel with the Anarchs. They gave us all the confirmation we needed. Also, our court involved in his destruction? I look at her in disbelief. So does anyone else. Not that the same thought hasn't passed through my head, but simply to exclaim it like that. Oh, spare me the virtue signaling. I thought we were being transparent here. I don't give a damn if we took care of Callahan or not. I just want to have a clear idea what I'm dealing with. Yes, a clear answer. I need that too. To my knowledge, none of us present here ordered his destruction, nor did we participate in it, unless someone wants to confess. It's now or never. Of course nobody speaks up. Arturo pretends to clear his throat. That's our official position as well. The Camarilla's ruling body has nothing to do with it, and for all intents and purposes, the Anarchs, contenders, had more interest in removing him than we did. That interest is sure to manifest in one way now. His former enemies will prop him up as a martyr for the cause. Yes, which we sadly can't just leave the Anarchs to their own devices. As much as we like to avoid recognizing their sect in any way, we've offered to assist them in an official investigation. Addison Payne's wicked face contorts slightly. Let me just ask you one question. Do you realize those curs have no respect for our traditions, yes? We do, Addison, but as a veteran politician you should be deeply familiar with the words controlled opposition. Yes, for now it's impossible to fully contain the Anarch threat in New York. For now, our only option is to prop up a candidate who will offer the least resistance to our future plans for the city. We extend our hand to the most promising contender, give him a way to present himself as a diplomat, a man of reasonable compromise. The rabble falls in line, the purists grow angry and alienated. We have already contacted the best possible person in their sect. We will oversee the investigation, and it's in his best interest to show how he's able to resolve the situation calmly. Is that good enough? Edison ponders the question for a while, then waves his hand again. It is. Proceed. Funny thing, no one's paying any attention to me right now. Keep in mind, Mr. Payne, our man's people will still barely tolerate us. The situation is volatile. The other factions within that sorry excuse of a sect might try to escalate the conflict. I will do my best to solve this situation as fast as possible. How so? Kadir is momentarily taken aback by Arturo's question. I volunteer to coordinate the case with the Anarchs, of course. I refuse. You have more important duties to focus on. Once more, Kadir is stunned. All due respect, Prince, but if you don't consider me capable of tackling this issue, and attending to my usual duties at the same time, I think you gravely underestimate me. Your panache for working yourself to the bone is well known and appreciated by everyone in this room, Sheriff. But so is your perfectionism. If we do grant you your wish and let you investigate while still fulfilling your routine obligations, can you guarantee you're going to give both these tasks your best? I can guarantee something very close to my best. Close to your best doesn't cut it, Al-Asmai. Not when the vultures are out in force. Callahan's destruction is sure to cause unrest among the Anarchs, and there is an obvious outlet for their pent-up rage. I want to make this perfectly clear. The celebrations will continue as planned, no matter what. This is why your presence here is absolutely necessary, Sheriff. We rely on your constant protection. Of course, my prince. We must be constant vigil for a few days. Alas, my sword must be constantly pointed at the enemies surrounding us. The timing of the Baron's destruction is impeccable. The Anarch's leaders are sure to point at us and claim we're shamelessly celebrating his end. Does anyone believe it's just a coincidence? Murderers are messy, almost as messy as politics. It is impossible to reliably predict the outcome of any violent action. I think it would be wise of us to embrace for a lot of unfortunate coincidences, Aisling. In any case, the rabble can't get the impression that their power struggles are the great concern to us. But they also can think we have something to hide, which brings me to my point. We need a symbolic gesture, one displaying expertly measured intensity. My best bet is a humble diplomatic envoy, a low-level acting as an investigator of sorts. Me? Me. I implore you, Prince Kadir. He bites his tongue and struggles to collect himself. I rarely seen him lose his temper, at least where the Camarilla is involved. What's going on? I wonder about your suggestion for his role. After all, is not particularly prodigious, but carries a lot of responsibility. We're still talking about a Camarilla representative. Oh, I think there is a very obvious candidate. Both he and Kadir look at me simultaneously. Everyone else in the room does too. Me, pick me. Now, wait a second. He can't possibly mean. Miss Julia, once again, your full name eludes me at the moment. Am I allowed to speak, or maybe I should wait for permission? Maybe make up my mind. The sheriff sighs deeply and speaks up. Sawinski. Miss Julia Sawinski, right. I understand you used to be an investigative journalist before your embrace. That's correct. Among others, the Banu Harim Primogen insisted that you are worthy of greater privileges and should be given a chance to prove yourself. Samira measures Arturo with suspicion. Yes. Do you still think she's capable? She looks at me deep in the eye. Eye of the tiger. I swear she's telepathically trying to tell me, please, don't fuck this up, you dumb ass little white girl. Of course. Good. I'm sure that you, Al Asmai, have no problem with your protege embarking on this mission, save for the pain a mother feels for watching her child leave the nest. Whether I do or do not is not particularly important right now, is it? It absolutely is. Beinhardt's backing of Arturo momentarily backsides him. Prince Beinhardt, if Arturo's plan is reckless, I want you to tell me. I need a simple yes or no answer. Is the girl capable? Now he knows he's left with no choice. I wouldn't entrust her with all the responsibilities that I have if she wasn't. She exchanges glances with me, but his look is different than Samira's. It's as if he's trying to apologize to me. There we are then. Recommendation from Banu Harim Primogen as the sheriff. To tell you the truth, I was just throwing out ideas, but with this backing, I can't doubt that the Knights Clan representative will get the job done. I am certain each of us feels the same, Mr. Payne. The atmosphere in the room mostly suggests people are glad they don't have to discuss the topic further. A shrug here, an averted gaze there. They're sending me to get killed. I'm sure of it. This is, as you say, I will watch the way she handles this situation with great interest. Well then, Mitsuoski, looks like you've got your chance for a big break. I have conditions. Big break doesn't mean much by itself. All I see is a big responsibility placed on my shoulders. What do I stand to gain here exactly? Even though I'd normally jump at a chance to be useful, I play it cool. All of a sudden, not only everyone acknowledges my existence, but believes I can handle solving a tense criminal case. If something seems too good to be true, let's not be vulgar now. You stand to improve your standing at the court. Yes, we can discuss the particulars based on your performance. Yeah, they don't plan on giving me shit. Figures. It's not like I can refuse, but this is something I need to take into account while taking care of this case. I need a bargaining position if I want to get anything out of this. Yeah, I'll do it. Just point me in the right direction and tell me what to do. Excellent. That leaves us with only one more matter, which I hope we can agree on. Prince Panhard signals someone with their hand. Their figure emerges from behind the corner. Catherine, good evening. What a pleasant surprise. Nobody informed us you were in town. Addison, looking healthier than ever. And what does Weiss have to do with this? We need an impartial observer who everyone respects. As it so happens, Catherine always knows how to make friends on both sides without angering. Does she now? I beg to differ. I'll be grateful if, just for once, you decided against throwing a tantrum about me, High Regent. A painful grimace crosses Ensign's face, but she is quick to interpret that taunt as an invitation to a game she cannot possibly win. As long as she can prove herself useful to the proceedings in any way. If half of what I heard about her from Miss van der Weyden is true, she should be able to. And what did that poor Carter say about me this time? Nothing specific. One always has to read behind the lines with him. Between the lines, behind the lines. But it's mostly envy. Miss Weiss gracefully agreed to mediate between the Anarch's representative and the La Sobra representative, ensuring mutual cooperation and mitigating potential conflicts. That feels like a Freudian slip. La Sobra representative, Camarilla representative, i.e. someone who can be catapulted from the sect without much damage to the ivory tower if they mess up. Is there a meeting set up? Arturo looks at the clock on the other side of the room. In less than an hour. You'd better hurry then. What the hell? All this is happening so fast. If the situation is indeed under control, I'll drive her and oversee the situation. Out of the question. You got your orders, Sheriff? Attend to those. You fool! The girl needs guidance. And we need yours. Nobody knows what might happen next. But it is not as if the Anarchs have a lot of love for you, Al-Asmai. You're too efficient in your duties for them to tolerate you. Better spare Miss Sowalski, having them see you two together. Do you think my guidance of Julia would be lacking, Kadir? I never said that. So do you have any objections to putting her under my care? He lowers his gaze but seems reassured. None whatsoever. That's what I needed to hear. We'll be going then. Wasting no time as usual, I see. Have you at least tried the aperitifs? Waiting is a older person's game, Helen. I still feel young. Remember if there's anything you might need help with. Probably not, but I appreciate the thought nonetheless. Have a great night, everyone. I'll catch up with you later, Edison. I certainly hope you do. And so we leave in a rush. Funny, considering that she told me what she told me about being in a hurry yesterday. Here we are. She thanks the chauffeur and lets me out of the car into a quiet neighborhood somewhere in Queens. Seemed like you were in a rush. I couldn't stand the crowd. She's honest. Probably performatively so. Just to get into my good graces. Well, it's working. And why is that? In my experience, gatherings like those always enable a boring pack mentality. All the familiar lies we tell ourselves to justify lusting for more repeated ad nauseum. I need your guidance. No time for philosophizing. I need your help now. Back at the art hall, you said something about guiding me. I have zero idea what to do, none whatsoever. I have necessary arrangements to make over the phone before we go here to ensure your pretty little head stays attached to your neck. For now, anyways. I'm grateful, but I still feel way out of my depth. I need to know what to do. You used to make a living as an investigative journalist, didn't you? Investigate the murder. The TV shows where an investigating journalism gets too close to the heart of a politically incendiary case, it rarely goes well. A cat's head on the porch, a bullet to the head. Are you afraid you might be a pawn in a game you don't understand? That your elders consider you a disposable asset? That a single wrong move might cost you everything you hold dear? That sounds about right. Yeah. By the sounds of it, you understand your situation perfectly. Don't belittle me. I need your advice. Be anything you want, but don't be boring, Julia. If I wanted to belittle you, I would have drowned you in the platitudes long ago. Know thyself, believe in your strength, trust no one, act confident. Turn the chessboard around and read your opponent's mind. Read Sun Tzu and quote him instantly. Say, do you feel any better now? Can I ask you something? Seeing as Mia is still not here, of course. Do you know who killed Baron Callahan? I haven't the slightest idea. Were you emotionally impacted by his death? Not at all. Did you know him? Only passingly, I'm afraid. I expected him to perish sooner than later, so I never bothered to improve our relationship. Why are you helping me? Am I? That remains to be seen. Ooh, what do you mean? You do not want a painfully honest answer, but I do. She stares at me down. Her irreverent tone makes it impossible to guess what she's feeling, even more so than that mask. When I look at you, I see someone pitiful, someone whose hunger is purely biological, just an animalistic rush. When I saw a burgeoning plan to put you in a situation that is way beyond your capabilities, I offered my help. I was curious to see your true colors reveal themselves firsthand. When everything is said and done, the Callahan killer is pointed out. Will you be whimpering animal or a victor taking the spoils? I cannot wait to find out. I don't know what to say. She's provoking or... Me, I should be here any second. You have time for one more question. Who is Mia? What makes you important? Why do you hide your face? She has one of those... was it like I'm thinking it was in Blade 3, where the chin split in half and it would bite you with the split mouth thing. Sure, that's correct. What makes you important? What do you do to hold so much sway over the city? I have the best occupation in the world. I made sure nobody's better at it than I am. And what occupation is? A socialite. And what's your last question? Direct the rest of them to her. A woman around my age emerges from around the corner of the street. Mia. I never met her before, but if I had to describe her in 2 words by her aura alone, I guess those words would be permanently angry. Even more than your average anarch. She just looks bored to me. You must be Catherine Weiss. You must be Mia Morgan. Pleasure to meet your acquaintance. Pleasure's mutual. Who's this girl? Julia Sucky, the La Sombra Primogen. La Sombra representative. I correct her automatically. At this point, it's a habit. Good. If you're a Primogen, I may have tried to kill you here and now. Is Torque still on the site? Nah, I told him I'd take it from here. By the end of tonight, we need to look like natural candidate for the leader of the NYC anarchists. It's going to take a lot of driving around and negotiations. How did he react to finding Callahan's remains? He hasn't exactly elaborated on his feelings, but I expect he reacted the same way every true believer in the cause did. It's this complicated mess of all of the possible feelings under the moon. So he was the first one who'd seen the murder site. Oh, so you're already calling it a murder site. Does the Ivory Tower know something we don't? It's not the official position. What? Is the other one saying that he killed himself? But or maybe an accident. He slipped on a banana peel and, pointy thing through the chest. The odds of those things happening are immense for someone that lives forever. It's not the official position, but I expect a lot of them think it's Torque, who stood to benefit the most from the boss's death, and sounds like he's quick to jump on new opportunity. You don't know him. Yes, but I'd love to meet him and ask him some questions, especially if he was the one who found the body. Well, if you're meeting Torque at all, it won't be tonight. He's too busy. I was assigned to investigate. I won't be able to do it properly if I'm not able to question a key witness. I'll arrange for him to see you this week. This week? Aren't the tensions a little too high for delaying an investigation like this? Well, Torque's work is our best shot of making sure they won't get higher, so boo fucking boo. I'm his right-hand woman, though. You got any questions, direct them to me. Maybe the two of you should head to Callahan's office. The discussion here doesn't seem to be going in the right direction. Not in a particularly interesting one. You're not coming. Torque and you are not the only ones who have their work cut out for them tonight. I trust you can make it from here. And Mia, be easy on her. I'm in slightly different circumstances. I almost said circumstances. Circumstances. I expect the two of you might have ended up on the same side of the barricades. Uh-huh. Take care. She heads back to her vehicle. Well, follow me. I'll show you this place. It's a 19th century style office, classical, wooden, smelly. The stuffy air of books, old furniture, dust covers, much of the fragrance of decay. But not all of it. This is the first time I've seen the remains of a vampire who's met the final death. I heard stories of really old killed crumbling to dust. But that was an exaggeration, at least. It didn't happen here. Final death, hello death. When kindred die, time catches up with them. If you offend me right now, if you offed me right now, I'd probably turn into an ugly, weakly corpse. But Callahan was over a century old. It looks like a dapper mummy. A desiccated body in a heap of musty clothes. All that is left of the mighty boss Douglas Callahan, Anarch Baron of New York City, if that's really him. Needless to say, it might be a little hard to establish the time of death or cause, especially as his garb doesn't have any obvious damage. He's died of old age. Died of boredom. What a great place to start. Have you already found anything suspicious? Nothing you don't see in front of you. Mm-hmm. This door is the only point of entry in the room, right? Unless you count the windows. But nobody except Callahan knew how to operate these, and they don't let air or light through. Metal blinders at the window facing east, the only modern element of the room, sticking out like a sore thumb. Also, no escape. They look automated. Was the door opened when Torque got here? Well, that's the one suspicious thing. It wasn't. It is as if Callahan locked himself in from the inside. Uh-huh. A closed murder room. There's some glass scattered on the floor. I point at it. Could that be from the window? I checked it from the outside. It's in perfect condition. So what's with the glass? I have no idea. Why does it seem like she has her suspicions, but is remaining uncooperative just because fuck off, Camarilla scum. I check the next point of interest. A wall safe, surprisingly large. I play a bit with the lock. What's the combination? It's Callahan. What makes you think I know? At least I tried. A desk with nothing but an envelope on it. Nothing inside. I check all the drawers. Every single one of them been thoroughly emptied. I don't know what I expected. Is this how the anarchs go around securing murder scenes? Were these emptied before Torque arrived? I don't know. But I wouldn't accuse him of tampering with the evidence if I were you. Well, thank you. The decor of the room is pretty minimal, so there isn't a lot of points of interest that could illuminate the case. I start getting nervous. I point at the painting on a wall. Of course, you now have no idea who that is. Callahan's ancestor, I guess. I'm out of ideas. Everything I look at feels like another dead end. I am frustrated. I feel like I am failing this investigation before it's even started. There must be something more. Start walking around, trying to find a single clue. Mia just watches me indifferently. Give me anything. Anything, god damn it. Anything. Spooky ghost. A shadow blinks in and out of existence near Callahan's remains. I freeze in place. Are you trying to help me? What are you mumbling about? In case you missed it, I'm not particularly fond of your sect. Doesn't seem like Mia noticed it. Give me just a moment more. She groans under her nose and goes back to messaging someone on her phone. When she does, the shadow appears again. Once again, blink in and blink out. Could something be out there? I approach the clothes and start searching them for a clue. Maybe they missed something. Getting desperate, huh? Just being thorough. We've searched the bastard like 3 times, yet nothing of interest on him. About this. A small card, barely noticeable, looking a bit like a shopping list, and shoved deep into an almost invisible hole in the fabric. I take it out and show it to Mia. You didn't plant that there, did you? No, did you? Shove off. What's on it? It's the list of names. D'Angelo, Hope, Agathon, Tamika. Any idea what's this about? Beats me. She's lying, but I don't care. Tomorrow night I will meet up with Kadir and ask him to help me figure it out. I think I'm done here. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Yes, she sees me as nothing more than an enemy agent. When will I get to meet Torque? Okay. If, and that's a big if, he will agree to meet you on a one-to-one basis, Catherine will let you know. He'll probably won't let a loyalist Camarilla lapdog like you see him without her oversight anyway. Camarilla lapdog, huh? It's a risky play, of course, and might backfire, but maybe I'd benefit if I put my loyalty to the court in question. Camarilla lapdog, please. Well, aren't you? Trust me, I'm not the type who bites the hand that feeds her, but the court's favorite pastime is leaving me starved. Ah, so it's like that, huh? Yeah. She studies me carefully. I will keep that in mind depending on how the situation unfolds. Good. In the meantime, have a good night. You too. It's getting late, or early, depending on how you look at it. Once I leave Calican's office, I head straight to Dakota's apartment. I try to sneak by my bedroom, but she's up waiting for me. Hey, Blondie. Shit. Tomorrow. What's happening? You look like something the cat dragged in. Tomorrow, I promise. But I'm worried. Don't be. Tomorrow. She gives me a concerned look, then closes her eyes, slumps her shoulders, and frowns. All right. You're the best. I reach my pitch-black room and throw myself on the bed. The responsibilities, the stakes, the way I always feel too slow to react properly in these situations. I don't want to think. I want to turn off my brain. I want to drift into the void. Into the void, into the void. You need a rest. I guess it's almost... I'll rest. You have received your first trait. Some choices in the game will push Julia towards different ways of thinking, which will have a lasting effect on her thought throughout the story. Cool. You will see a brief pop-up on the top of the screen anytime you have received a new trait. You can view any unlocked trait in the log screen accessing through the top left icon. Remember that ruthlessness is a mark of a true La Sobra, but you might walk another path before reaching that destination. Ah, so we must be ruthless. Cool. Is she doing my makeup? I always told you you'd make it big. Yet real, these assholes are just using me as a pawn in some stupid fourth-dimensional chess game. As opposed to just keeping you off the chessboard. Don't be a glass-half-empty buzzkill. Watch them make me a scapegoat or something. That would be exciting. I could write a book about living with a 24th century Lee Harvey Oswald. Calm, don't even joke about that. I haven't killed anyone. Julia, honey, neither did Oswald. Yeah, you're right. Keep forgetting. Stop wiggling, I'll mess up your face. Sorry. I'm always obedient when she's busy working on my makeup. It's hard to take care of your appearance, especially your face, when you don't even see yourself in the mirror. Not that I've been particularly good at it, but Dakota doesn't seem to mind. I'm her goth dress-up doll. Her presence in my unlife is one of the few things that my sire provided for me before fucking off to Chicago. Normally, I would be told to find myself a ghoul, but many of our clan, myself included, find the idea of ghouls distasteful. We are cat people, not dog people. We don't want mindlessly faithful servants. We want companions who rely on us, despite having, in theory anyways, the free will not to. This kind of relationship I have with Dakota would be normally a breach of the Masquerade's rules, but the rules are different from Kindred or Camarilla, adjacent, even losers like me. Simply here, but my sire made me declare that her child would not own slaves, and that was the end of the discussion. To be honest, I think the court mostly agreed to that respect because they wanted one more thing to blackmail me with just in case. What would you do in my place? If I have to investigate your elite wrongdoings, yeah, I'd probably look for those rich fucks pedophile rings. Look at the assholes who mention pizza suspiciously often. See who has powerful friends in Manhattan jails, stuff like that. Oh, come on. Now I'm serious. Search for the deep rot, and a lot of smaller crimes will get solved in the process. What is with you and conspiracy theories? What do you mean? You just told me your bosses are having eagle eyes wide shut parties, and suddenly you don't believe in rich people pedophile rings? I don't know. I don't know if I want to know. My point is, you act as if all conspiracy theories are real. Like you can't possibly believe all that shit. Half of it doesn't even make sense. Well, you want an interesting answer or a real answer? The real answer should be the more interesting one. She removes the brush from my face to gather her thoughts. Everyone's lost nowadays. Just look at the world. Is drowning in facts that fail to cohere into a single convincing narrative or a story that resonates. The corporate media wants you to believe the empirical thinking, but it always fails to deliver moral or metaphysical truths. And the people desperately lack those. So what do? They turn to conspiracists, and suddenly they are able to navigate the world. And why is that? Because conspiracy theories give them emotional truths that serve as a compass. Bill Gates trying to insert satanic microchips into my body? Probably not. I hope not. Now, is he a terrible person? No idea. But there's ample evidence that that might be the case. It is in his ruthless business strategies, the company he used to keep, the philosophies he follows. People look at him and they feel he's fishy. Fishy. Maybe fishy is a good thing. So then the media presents him as a genius or a savior. And I post that he wants to put the mark of the beast on my body. They choose to believe me. Because it makes moral, emotion, metaphysical sense to them. And ultimately, that's what matters most. The end. I don't buy it. Like, at all. But since it's you that's saying it, it just might say it's cute. What do I have? Oh, I have loyal only to myself. That's my trait. Good. And what if this? Oh, I didn't read any of the info. Good enough for me. You can come up with this monologue on yourself, on your own. No, I read it on Facebook. Oh, figures. But just to make sure, vaccines are okay? Well, as far as I know, they don't cause autism. Good to hear. Anywho, I'm done. You're the best. Yeah, and considering how many times I've done makeup on a dead body, I probably have enough job experience to be a mortician by now. Now that sounds like an exciting career, but in reality, it's probably the most boring thing under the sun. Yeah, I like my corpuses talkative, pouty, and self-loathing. Shut up. This sarcasm will be leaving now. This carcass. Sarcasm. I'm just making up words now. Making up the dialogue. Fine. This carcass will be leaving now. Has got a job to do. Go get him, Tiger. First thing I need to do, meet up with Kadir tonight and report to him. Hope he knows how to guide me out of this mess. He should have time for me in an hour or two. In the meantime, it's supposed to be time to find someone that's the most dehumanizing word I could use. Nourishment. Kadir told me I need to quench my thirst less often if I didn't smoke. It kills you, he said. But to start killing itself, your organism must pretend it's alive. So that uses up precious vitae. But I love cigarettes. The way they smell, the way they burn, the hot ash falling from the top, the sound of the lighter. The way they kill you, of course. And I guess I need some tactile connection to who I was back when I was alive. Okay, New York City, guide my steps. Show me which one of your children I should drink up tonight. Well, I guess that one. I thought I could select with the... It's fine. No blood, no matter how exquisite, is worth suffering this noise. Something terrible must have happened to the previous DJ. It had to be sudden and unexpected for them to hire this amateur under the wire. Zero ability to read the crowd, no sense of flow. And that constant flashing wasn't migraine-inducing enough by itself. Now that I remember how an ordinary headache feels. I know the hunger, though, which is why I'm here tonight. Purple-haired girl bumps into me, heads down, tears flowing down her cheeks, head trembling. As much as I understand it, I don't think it's the guy at the turntables that made her like this. Oof. Oh, I'm sorry. She bolts before I can say a single word. Well, who am I to blame her? A tactical retreat probably felt like a good idea. The trace of cheap booze in every potential vessel is faint, but ever present. At this point, the smell is all I am getting. Come to think of it, I can barely remember how alcohol tastes. Maybe I should remind myself. Nah, that's dumb. But the bar's pretty much free of people at the moment. I get closer and take a peek at the drinks menu. There are some goofy fucking names, especially from a kindred's perspective. Order the Bloody Margaret. Order the Vampirino. Bloody Mary, I guess it would be. The bartender brings me a large glass garnished with a celery stick and filled with something that looks more like a veggie shot than the gin-based cocktail. I'm far from thrilled. Fuck it, here it goes. Check it down in one go. It tastes like canned tomatoes someone opened and left rotting for a decade. Something tells me I'm going to regret it soon. The music abruptly stops just as I step away from the bar. I can see the booth, but the crowd's reaction tells me I need to know. All I need to know. Looks like we have a new DJ. The vibe immediately improves. Hallelujah. But pleasant moments never last. Some well-worn dude on the wrong side of a 40 decides to hit up on me. Our eyes meet for a brief moment, slightly too late for me to outmaneuver him. Strangely, there is no lust in his gaze, and yet he seems like a predator closing on his prey. Shit. Could he be the rumored diva's delight? A kiss addict clocking me as a bloodsucker. Kiss addict. How come you're all alone, sweetheart? I can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but there's something irksome in the way he carries himself. As he approaches me, I begin to feel fatigue. There is a sudden drop of atmospheric pressure. Oh, he's one of those emotional vampires. It's one of those energy vampires. Glare until he goes away. I give him a purely hateful glare, but I find it weirdly strenuous to keep my eyes on him for longer than a few seconds. There's something about him that ruins the little composure I have, and I think he knows what. I feel spiders crawling up my spine. Is there something wrong? Here, let me... Hands off, asshole. Twist his wrist. Dominate. Make him go away. I grab his wrist in a tight grip and start twisting until I feel the snap of a dislocated joint. He screams in pain, but fortunately the music drowns it out. As soon as I let go of his hand, he runs for the exit. He stares me down before leaving. I can't help but sense something worse than fear in his eyes. Makes me feel uncomfortable. As if meeting that asshole wasn't strained me enough, an acrid feeling arises in my gut, instantly making me nauseous. I barely make it to the nearest empty lounge before I begin violently throwing up. For a minute straight, I sprayed the couch with the remains of that wretched cocktail. It was not a pretty sight. I get a hold of myself as soon as my stomach empties. Shit, Julia. We all have had more of than this fair share of avoidable embarrassments. Is it necessary for your unlife to follow suit? Time to bail and not look back. Right before I reach the exit, the purple-haired girl from earlier bumps into me once again. This time, I know it's not coincidental. Wait, please. She seems startled, but gives me a pleading look. I saw what you did to that man. Are you, one of them? Yes, I am a Karate Kid expert, yes. One of them, you know, the ones that watch Kung Fu. She bares her teeth and taps on the side of her neck. Ah, a doctor. A dentist. So you're the diva's delight? She blushes innocently, like I just caught her stealing cookies. Yes, it sounds silly, but I thought it would attract some, some of your kind. I've been told I taste good. Would you like to try? She looks me the same way a junkie who hasn't had his hit for a while looks at a syringe. Or just go donate some blood, lady. You know too much. There's no way you didn't have a patron of some sort. Her eyes tear up again. I do, but maybe I don't. I don't know anymore. He shows up whenever he wants, then he disappears for weeks. I don't know. I don't even know his name. We were supposed to meet here tonight, but I guess he didn't show up. The girl keeps talking. Now that she found someone new to open up, any instinct she might have had to remain secretive is gone. Makes you wonder who thought it was a good idea to breach the masquerade to her. Before him, I used to have a caregiver. She was one of the divas too, but she was exceptional, noble. I think she cared about me, in a way. She always complimented the way I tasted. Gross. Would you like a try? She clings to my arm like I'm Jesus Christ and Kurt Cobain at the same time. Ooh, good combination. Descended from heaven exclusively to turn her misery into bliss. Teenage spirits. I can't help but feel some disdain. Please, I promise you won't be disappointed. I know I won't be. I'm too hungry for that. But I also like to pretend I'm someone better than hungry from time to time. Feeding opportunity! The hunger gets the better of me, but somehow I don't mind. That is what she wants, isn't it? A quick look around, nobody's paying attention. Why would they? There's just two random girls who seem to be into each other. I gently grabbed the back of her head and put my lips closer to her neck. She visibly trembles with excitement. As I bite down, her body softens. Then I drink, savoring each sip. She really tastes incredible, like an unfulfilled promise. Sweet, sweet innocence. As soon as I am done, she loses her footing, weakened, but undoubtedly relieved. I help her sit down on the floor. She smiles at me, joy glinting in her eye. Thank you, that was... I really needed that. My name... Don't talk, just rest for a while. I leave her alone in the state of bliss. She doesn't seem to mind. It looks like I did the right thing. Right? I leave the booming sounds of the club behind me and get on with my night. So... Slap on the wrist. Bunny as a reporter. Samira is asking me to meet her and this guy. What does one do when the ghost of Christmas past knocks at her door? Let's go with Samira. A clean-cut staff member dressed in an impeccable company uniform smiles at me as the elevator door opens. Good evening, ma'am. Meeting someone? I dismiss his question with an apathetic shrug. He seizes up the brief moment, visibly questioning my fashion sense. However, his professional acumen quickly trumps his discontent. Very well, this way, please. NYC's nouveau riche seem awfully hungry for gourmet soup this late at night. The patrician is packed almost to the brim. The concierge pulls me to the vacant table, conveniently situated far off the corner of the main hall. I nestle in the chair, letting my elbows rest on the ornate tablecloth. Watch out, obviously white collars. There's a black widow in your midst. When I'm here, might as well just kick back and die of boredom. Yeah. I really, really need something to occupy my mind. Have a smoke. Would they let you smoke? Let's call the concierge. A quick glance at the nearby grandfather clock momentarily stupefies me. Barely 10 minutes have passed since my arrival, but it feels like I've been sitting here for at least an hour. Enough's enough. I wave at the concierge, inadvertently making a scene. Might as well bring some much-needed Philistine vibes to this place. Hey, buddy. Yeah, you. The concierge quickly closes in on me, dancing habitually between the tables, and addresses me before I can even utter a single word. Excuse me, ma'am, are you Miss Sucky by any chance? As soon as I nod, he hands me a carefully folded memo and leaves. The note reads, "The manager of this establishment insulted the Camarilla's authority with his negligence. Even though it is minor, his transgression must be penalized. I would like you to assist me in this matter. Such a display of goodwill on your part would surely improve your standing with the higher ups. Choose an appropriate, non-lethal punishment. S." Well, this is disappointing. It is a high order to expect any help with the investigation, I guess. Instead, just another chore. The best I can hope for is that this really is simply a friendly request and not a deliberate attempt to derail my work this early in the game. Damn it. Might as well get it done since I'm already here, so I can move on with more pressing stuff. I swiftly approach the manager and tap him on the shoulder. He furrows his brow as soon as he notices me. I'm afraid I'm busy. One of the waiting staff should be able to... Well, we have something to discuss. The VIP lounge. Now, if you please. His face loses color. Maybe it has dawned on him that I'm even paler than the other, more blue-blooded guests. He immediately becomes compliant as I escort him through the side door. The room is empty, but its guests are just leaving. Nobody pays me any attention. The manager is as polite as he can be as he sees the parade turns out, but I can see he's clearly losing his shit. He quietly asks for one of the staff to give him 5 minutes in the lounge and gingerly closes the door behind him. Then the pleading starts. Listen, I know I screwed up. I shouldn't have let him in. How could I have known he's not one of the proper clients? I don't give a... Listen, hey. I would have never... I implore you, I have kids. For Christ's sake, there must be something, an arrangement, a way to... He just goes on, as if I'm not even there. With each subsequent whimper, he becomes more and more irritating. Lash out. Yeah, we always do better if we're the asshole. I've enough of this bullshit. I grab him by the back of his head and smash it into the bar, then throw him on a small but stout coffee table nearby. I take out a soup ladle from the fancy kettle it was served in and smack the guy around. It doesn't look nice, and it lasts way longer than it needs to. With every hit, his whimper go quieter. I only come to my senses once he chokes on a sob. I look down at him, just lying there and wheezing after the unjust thrashing. I throw away the bloodied utensil, and get out of there as fast as I can. I don't really know what happened to me back there. I acted on instinct. Karen warned me that something in our bloodline finds sniveling weaklings detestable. Is that what triggered me? Well, this is something to worry about in the future, but no use dwelling on it now. Yeah, who cares about that? I did what I was asked, and I am sure as hell wasted enough time here. That's all, folks. Alright, it's about time I head to see Kadir. Mighty of him to arrange a meeting in the place that's most convenient for me. Ooh, a new picture. Oh, lovely. D'Angelo Hope Tamika Agathon. I suppose that's better than nothing, but no evidence? Really? Honestly, I feel as if someone had already cleaned up the most of egregious stuff before I arrived. Sounds like the Anarchs. I'll definitely try to check the place again, but I feel I'd need some sort of expert to accompany me. An advised investigator who would show me the ropes. Someone tall and handsome, maybe? Yeah, if you don't mind a diplomatic incident, I'll go with you. Any better ideas? Actually, this very note gave me one. But I need to set it up first. I'll get back to you about that. You know these people? I have a passing contact with one of them, with each of them who? Part and parcel of the job, you know. I suppose. Can you help me out with this? The way I'd tackle it would be look at one person on the list every night, ask around about them, and see what they know if they do manage to meet them. If I manage to meet them. They're not particularly easy to get a hold of. Anyways, always preferred to be a little off-grid, but nowadays they're all practically in hiding, if not MIA. Or dead? Funny coincidence? It's not my job to speculate. In other words, he knows something, but is not at liberty to say. Guess I'll find out anyways, if I do meet them. And why one night each? Should I investigate every loose end until we're satisfied? Shouldn't I investigate? Yeah. In a perfect world, you would have all the time you need, but this is not a perfect world. They'll try to brute force a solution to the case as soon as possible. I suspect that 4 nights from now, once the celebrations of power are over, they'll ask for your findings, and that will be all. Fucked up. To be brutally honest, my focus wouldn't be on solving the murder. Instead, I'd focus on not embarrassing yourself. Fucked up. This is part why I didn't want you to get involved. You couldn't possibly think Arturo had you involved out of the goodness of his heart. The entirety of your investigation is just for show. You're meant to be an unwitting actor. Maybe I really should just call Mia and be like, you know what? Fuck these condescending ivory tower clowns. I want to work with you. But then again, if I was with the Anarchs, they'd probably delegate even shittier tasks to me. If, and that's a really big if, they don't think I'm some kind of inside agent in the first place. Better stick to the Camarilla. But if they're hell-bent on stabbing me in the back at every opportunity, maybe it's time to think about how I can repay the favor, play dirty, no matter what Kadir thinks of it. After all, from where I'm standing now, there is no other way to butt up. Oh. Penny for your thoughts? I take a drag from my cigarette. I'm pissed off. Thoughts, schmaltz. I'm angry. What do you expect? Something different from the norm, I suppose. My anger levels are above the norm, I suppose. It's a nasty situation, but not one without a good ending in sight. So I hope you can channel that anger into something productive. I can try. What should I do first? Should go with me. As it happens, I'm only out here because I was ordered to drive Aisling to the art hole. To the asshole. That's it. That's the asshole. It's not the art hole, it's the asshole. And guess the name of her protege. Oh, that's who Agathon is. Or was. Nobody knows. It's a complicated thing. You'll see. I'm on the clock, so let's get a move on. Work your magic, fairy godmother. Still not done with this bit? Not while it's still bothering you. I'm leaving you behind if you don't keep up. I already told Kadir, and numerous times at that. I have no idea what happened to Agathon. The Broadway Chantry, part of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, is Ainsling's usual hangout place these past few nights. She's in a hurry and not willing to talk. Do you have any idea about this connection to kindred going by the names of Tamika, D'Angelo, and Hope? I don't. I made it a point to keep our relationship strictly professional and never meddled in his personal affairs unless they influenced our work, that is. But it only happens. But it only happened one time. Ah, yes, the infamous Juno case. What about Juno? Could that Juno case be the reason he's missing? I seriously doubt it, for many reasons. I think the boy lost his appetite for studying blood magic and set out to do a little soul searching. It was quite rude of him not to give me a proper warning before he departed. Still, this line of work is not particularly favored by folks with a perfect grasp of savoir vivre. I do hope his search will bring him back right where he started, begging me to take him back in. The boy is talented, and I did put a lot of time into mentoring him. If he doesn't, well, que sera sera. No skin off my back. So you don't even entertain the possibility that he found himself in harm's way?